What is up, folks? We are back again for another 1v1 between Nova and Fighter. This is a best of 3 series, so as of right now it is 1-0 for Nova. This game is going to be a Spanish Civ War. Nova took market at the start. This one is going to be a lot different than the Celts vs Celts game, or Celts vs Celts, in the fact that there is no good siege units from either of these players. They do have bombard cannons and siege rams, I believe, but beyond that, they have standard onagers or onagers, and I think they have the standard scorpions. I'm not really sure. But trade income will be very nice for these players. You have 13 markets coming right now from Nova. As far as Fighter goes, we have 11 markets to the left, but the markets for Nova is on the back. I assume the playstyle is going to be ultimately the same as before, or the base building. But we will see, that is. So far, it looks like Nova has exhausted his entire economy with the exception of stone. That is because he is producing a lot. So he has almost 5,000 food, 1,000 gold, and 7,000 stone. So his score is going to drop down quite a lot. Already building his defenses over here on the right side of the map. 26 markets, or no, I lied. Around 31 markets from Nova. You can tell he's going to be maximizing his trade population quick. A lot of farms coming in already. 39 farms. Gonna jump on board with Fighter. And this whole area right here is very questionable. There's not that many defenses coming in the bottom. He has what is that? 3 siege workshops. Now he deleted his town centers. I'm going to hope that he would build bombard towers and other military production buildings. Looks like the form of his attack is going, or most of his attacking will be done at the top side of the map, which is Nova's weak spot, or the weak side. We say weak side because of how small this whole area is. See what this white box is on the minimap? It's smaller. Same thing with down here. So Nova's going to be pushing the bottom, and Fighter's going to be pushing the top. It's kind of sad when you know how these games are going to play, or how they're going to play out. But all you gotta do is just look at the map and see where the military buildings are. You have most of the Fighters' military buildings being placed over here on the top. You don't have that much in the middle or in the bottom. But what you do have in the bottom is a bunch of siege workshops and stables with a wall behind them. And now he has bombard towers. As far as Nova goes, it's the same thing with the one major difference. There's no military buildings at the top right now. Everything is going to be pushed out from the bottom so he can hit Fighter's trade as quickly as possible. No bombard towers coming in either from Nova. He is increasing his farming production. A lot of idle villagers though from Nova. Around a handful coming from Fighter. We have 4 minutes left into the treaty, so hopefully this game is more entertaining than the Celts war between these two players, but we'll see. Alright, we have less than a minute left in the treaty, 43 seconds on the clock. Onagers are now coming from Nova in the bottom. At the top, he has built a 3-layer wall. No military production as of yet from Fighter. He is slow in that department. Now we have Trebs coming from Nova. A total of 7 castles on the bottom, so there's going to be a lot of trebuchets. If you know how Nova plays, his focus is going to be on paladins and Trebs in this situation with this Civ matchup. Still no response coming from Fighter up top, which I don't understand that concept because his military buildings are at the top, but there's no production going on with them. I think he's stuck at full pop. He did just delete his wood choppers. Nothing coming up the top still. Now there's response coming from Fighter. Finally, bombard cannons and paladins, but a lot of Trebs coming from Nova. We have 31 Trebs in total. There's a 4,000 score difference between these players. Almost a 5,000 score difference between the players. Fighter is opening the top with one onager, but I think he's not doing anything with it. It seems like his focus is going to be in the bottom, or that's where he's microing. Mass bombard towers coming from Nova with paladins to try to back those up. Still nothing coming from fighter up top. So many players, they have this similar playstyle when they're playing someone like Nova who micros a lot. They don't play to win, they play to basically defend and hold for as long as they can. You can't do that when you're playing against a stronger player, because it's just pointless. They will out-micro you until the point that your economy is exhausted, and then they will crush you. You have to basically control the flow of the game, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Like right now, right here, Fighter's lost the bottom corner already. The amount of bombard towers that Nova is placing is going to make it almost impossible for Fighter to push this back. And Nova still has 3,000 stone left in the bank. All he has to do is micro his paladins to those trebs and keep punishing Fighter on the bottom, and then it's a game over. And up top, there's still nothing going on, so all these military buildings right here were basically pointless. That's basically wood wasted up top. Forward stables coming from Nova, more bombard tower production as well. He has to have at least maybe 70 to 80 bombard towers in this area right here. This small area of the map. And a lot more paladins also from Nova, so it's safe to say that this game is practically over. Basically over. And the reason that a lot of players call it GG when their trade gets touched or gets breached is because if you keep playing, if your trade is basically destroyed, your trade cards are destroyed, that's wood and gold that you have to replace. And most of the time in these deathmatch Michi games, if you're not making a gold army, i.e. paladins, conquistadors in this situation, or trebs or whatever, you're fighting trash units. You're fighting with trash units against a gold army. You're going to lose that matchup 100% of the time. What is basically happening here, or what will happen here if this game continues to go any further. Now you have Fighter pushing up top with bombard cannons and paladins, but it's a little bit too late. There's nothing that you can do right down here. All Nova has to do is destroy both of these markets, and then your trade income ceases to a halt. This area is open right here as well. Nova can push directly into the trade route. Idle villagers right here could be doing something. Army up here could be advancing further, but the bombard cannons are stopped right there. What he could do is target the gates and send paladins in. So he does have paladins there, but I mean they just died to Novas. Now there's no trade. Idle trade cards, trebuchets, bombard towers are being pushed in even further. Paladins down here. This game is over. It's GG. I can't even tell you how many trade cards Fighter has. This is just pointless. Fight this any further. He has 42 trade cards, and Fighter called it GG. Seeing games like this just... I wish I could take over. GG.